Stop being who you think others want you to be and start being yourself. Think about this too, is like we endlessly people please and fawn to the view that others want to see us as when we deep down know exactly who we want to be and who we are. And these tend to be what we call the shadow aspects, right? It's the part of us that we secretly know is there and we want to express, but we keep it shoved down in this little cage, and then it's like it pops out and scares us and causes havoc and destruction in our life. And then we're like, oh shit, got to do some cleanup, collateral damage. And then we go back and we stuff it away, and it happens again and again. But something I've seen in my life that really, truly helped me express myself, connect with myself, and just endlessly show up for myself was simply letting those shadows out of the box and creating them into reality. And when you do it, it's scary, right? Because people will pop out right away and be like, don't do that. What are you doing? Stop that. And it's like the test. It's the test from the divine of like, do you believe in yourself and trust yourself so much that you can express yourself through the truest essence of your soul? Because essentially you have to get through this fear of judgment, this fear of being seen, and the fear of the unknown. And it's like, what happens if I showcase myself in front of all these people? And what it does is it thins out the crowd of who's for you and who's not for you by simply being yourself and observing. You're like, wow, that person reacted negative. Like, screw that. I felt really good when I did that. They're for me. They're supporting me. Fear of the unknown too here is like, you know, what happens if I let this shadow aspect out of its cage? Is it going to destroy my life like it normally does? And the answer is no. It's like the unknown there opens up to showcase to you how powerful it is to integrate your shadow. If you look at, you know, Jeff Bezos, I guess his shadow is impatience because he gets people packages anywhere in the world in 2 days. You know, like Elon Musk has an insane curiosity, and he's curious as to how we can get AI on the moon and start a civilization on Mars with humanoids. Like, that's insane. But see how those shadows transmuted into something great. And though people still have aspects or things that they'll mention about those people don't care because they're fully expressing themselves. They've fully leaned into the unknown. They've got over the fear of being seen. And people see them fully and might share different aspects about them. But also in that, they're also being themselves and they're true to themselves, and they can operate without fear of judgment, fear of being seen, and fear of the unknown, because that's where they're living, is in a state of being seen, leaning into the unknown and not letting others judge them, stop them from living whatever their purpose is. And I think that's what I really wanted to share today is, number one, like, honor yourself, honor your needs, honor whatever that little voice is inside telling you to do, because you're hearing it for a reason. And by not listening to it and wondering what's going on in your life and why stuff's not working for you, like, it's a telltale sign there, right? To me, it's obvious. It's like one tip that I tell a lot of people all the time that I want to share with you today is like, that last thing you want to do is the first thing you need to do. And if you think about it, like, we play this game where we're endlessly playing whack-a-mole, and we're like, I got this thing, I got this, 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 I got this. And then you're like, man, I don't feel like I got this. And then when you stop and you think, like, what is that last thing I want to do? It's typically a big thing. It's typically a hard thing. It's typically something that we have some fear in, but we don't want to acknowledge it, so we avoid it. Or the more we avoid it, the more anxiety it brings us. And we're wondering, like, why we're stressed out, why we're anxious, and we're simply not listening to ourselves. Because when you identify what that last thing is you need to do, and you do it first, instead of playing whack-a-mole where you're hitting all these things saying, I got it, you're literally like, got it. And it's done, and the stress is gone, the anxiety is gone, the fear is gone. And then you connect more with yourself by being like, damn, that was that voice inside. It was telling me to do this, and I did it, and it solved all my problems. And in doing so, you care less about what other people think and how you should show up for other people, and then you simply just start showing up for yourself. You start connecting with yourself. You start listening to yourself. You start doing what you want to express with yourself, and you start expressing it, and then everything goes from hard work and hustle and struggle to simply ease, surrender, trust, and listening to your inner soul, your soul's voice, your higher self, God, your spirit guides, whichever part of yourself you're connecting with. You're endlessly entertaining that aspect, and by connecting to it and listening to it and acting upon it and letting those shadows out and expressing yourself, you're bringing yourself closer to yourself and to God. And by connecting those two together, you're going to create the greatest divine power within yourself that you've ever had. And you're going to surprise yourself with what you're able to do with simplicity and ease. And all that stress and anxiety that's been fueling you your entire life is going to disappear. And you're going to find yourself in a new state of your own nirvana. You're going to find yourself in a state of like trusting your self-expression. You're going to be expressing yourself, and you're going to start generating more energy, and you're going to feel so fucking good by simply just doing what you've been listening to on the inside and not doing. But by connecting with that voice and doing it, you're going to start connecting with yourself. And then by connecting with yourself, everything in your life is going to magnetically start to attract. And then you're going to have this latency period where you're like, I don't trust that because last time. But the more you lean in and trust yourself and express yourself, you create this magnetic pull towards yourself. And then everybody around you is there to help you. They're there to support you. There's no more bad decisions, bad ideas, and bad friendships. Like everything around you is 100% supporting you and there for you as soon as you can lean into it and trust that it's there to help you and not hurt you. And like that literally is a soul cycle that I've gone through over the last, I want to say about 8 years, specifically the last 5 to 3 was the big part. But to anybody watching this video, I encourage you to watch this again or listen to that and try it out in aspects of your life, because there are those weird things that we don't want to express that bring us our greatest success. And for me, that was metaphysics. I was working with corporate clients, English Premier League, NFL, YouTube TV, T-Mobile for business. And I always wondered, like this deep down thing inside of me loved the metaphysics, and I couldn't figure out how to attract those clients and put that out. But then in stopping working with those clients and really stepping into personal branding, and literally leaning into the metaphysics in all aspects of my life, it brought everything closer to me. The fear was gone, and I was expressing myself. Now I use metaphysics to run a personal brand agency. I run a school community called Enoch, and like these are all aspects in my life that I love. And now instead of doing all these things playing whack-a-mole, I'm literally applying metaphysics to every aspect of my life, whether it's client work in a personal brand, whether it's my school community where I teach people topics like this, how to integrate their shadow and how to turn their ego into their personal assistant. So there's all these things that you can do when you start connecting with yourself, trusting yourself, and expressing yourself, because then that brings you to singularity of focus of just simply doing that one thing that you love. For me, metaphysics, in everything you do. And now you don't have to have a content strategy. Now you don't have to have all this other bullshit that was noise. Now you're able to create solidarity and self, sovereignty in self, and endlessly put yourself out there in every aspect of your truest self to be seen, to be heard, and to create an impact, simply doing what you do and not having to feel like a performer, but simply just being yourself. So guys, I hope this message created a breakthrough. If it did, drop a like below, drop a comment. I always like to hear your input, as I love to share my knowledge and information. I ask that you do the same here in the comments below. Anywhere you go, just share your perspective, because your perspective is worth so much when you learn how to share it with others very simply and not force it, but put it out there. Because that simple message that you hear every day, as soon as you put it out there, you're going to create a shift in someone, and that shift is going to be profound. Though they might not comment or share with you that you created a shift in their life, just know that you probably did by simply being yourself and doing everything you love and expressing yourself on such a high level. And watch the magnetism, I can't even say that, come into your life and the beautiful things it brings. Peace. Have a good day.